So Troy Haynes from The Space. I'm here with Leanne Peard from the Social Media Specialist. I've known Leanne for, I reckon, 6, 7, 8 years. We go back.
More than that, back to Toastmasters. So Toastmasters was in 2009
Oh, wow. Yeah.
when we first charted that group.
Wow. So we're nearly 10 years, we're nearly a decade we've known each other.
Yeah.
And you've been in social media for pretty much that amount of time. How long have you been doing Social Media Specialist?
So Social Media Specialist about the same time. So officially that launched in 2009, but I've been using social media for my businesses prior to that since 2004.
Awesome. So I invited, based on that, like who else is more qualified to run us through Facebook 101? So I invited Leanne to jump on a call with me today so that we can help go from zero to getting set up with Facebook and using the Facebook ad manager. So that's what Leanne's going to show us through today. As we go through, I'll probably ask a bunch of questions, but for the most part, I'm going to leave you to your devices, Leanne, to take us on the journey and help the good people that are watching this to get set up. Sound cool?
Okay, wonderful. So how do I actually share my screen? That's the next question.
Do you have a green share button at the bottom?
I do. So that will just open up.
Yep, if you do that, that'll share your screen.
Okay, so I just pick, obviously, which one, which I cannot
If you go to
go.
share screen, that way it'll just share whatever is on the screen.
So can you see that now?
Yep.
All right, so you should have a Ads Manager tab with a quick creation.
Yes.
Okay.
See that, 100%.
So some guidelines. First off, I'm the first one to put my hand up to say that I'm in Facebook jail, and I've been in Facebook ads jail for approximately 9 years. So this is a place where you don't want to go. You do not want to be in Facebook ads jail.
What's that?
That's where you're not allowed to do any ads. So I have, if you have a look, let me just get out of here for a minute. So if you violate any rules or any of the community guidelines in Facebook, you basically get 3 strikes and you're out.
Wow.
And they won't tell you that you've been striked out, and they won't tell you what you've done wrong. So good practice is to check the community guidelines before you do any ads. So back in 2011, when I was doing multiple ads for personal trainers and stretching the boundaries, Facebook decided that I should go into jail. So, and I can't get out. I've pleaded every year to my case. So it's lucky that I have lovely family members that'll let me use their profiles to do ads. So if you're wondering, up the top here, Amy is my daughter, so I've been able to use her account to do my ads. So full disclosure there, I'm in jail. So when we jump into, I'm presuming everybody knows how to get into ads, which I shouldn't presume. So,
let's actually not presume that. Can we go back to that?
Let's go back. So from your Facebook, this is a bit, can you see the whole?
Yep, I can see your Facebook, yep.
Okay, cool. So from Facebook profile, the little drop down arrow in the top right hand corner, when you select that, if you've never had an ad account before, you'll have to select create ads first. And that will be where Facebook walks you through, putting in your credit card details and all sorts of information about yourself. So I can't show you that because I already have ads. So after you've completed your credit card details, you will jump into manage ads, which is the next button below that. Then you select your active account, which, as I said, is in my daughter's name, my partner's name. I have 2. And then you will get this display. It looks more complicated than it is. So first off, I just want to point out at the top left-hand corner, you've got the Ads Manager. Now, I don't know if I should go into pixels yet. I'll come back to pixels.
But let's do an overview of why pixels are important. But that might be a video that we can do is setting up pixels.
Yeah, so pixels are important because if you use pixels, which is a code, and you put it on a website, a landing page, or any part of your funnel, and you create an ad. So I might create an ad directing them to my landing page, and I add the pixels to that page. Maybe I'll spend $100, $200, and I won't really know how many people have actually landed on that page but may not have entered any details. So let's say I've spent $100, 2 people have signed up to my offer, and maybe 80 odd people went to the site, decided it wasn't for them right there and now, and jumped off the website. So Facebook has introduced pixels where if I put the code on that site or that landing page, I can then retarget another ad to those people, the 80 odd people or so that I don't know who they are, but Facebook does. And Facebook will then repurpose that ad to those people that visited that site. So that's why it's really important.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is where you will add or create your pixels in the back end here, but this is where you'll also be able to set up or maybe even check out if your target market is on Facebook. Now, many businesses talk about target marketing and many businesses don't understand who their target market is, but it's crucial for your success in advertising to know what that target market is or who they are in order to have an effective ad campaign. So just a quick overview, in the plan section here under Audience Insights, you can actually go in there and check out or look at the demographics of your particular target market. I won't go into detail, but you can actually check out, is my target market on Facebook to start with, and get some more information about that person. But for this instance, let's just pretend we already know who our target market is. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a little bit of homework that you can go into.
So pixels and then looking at target market.
Yeah, if they're actually there.
Yep. Cool.
So then we get back to our actual campaigns section. So there's a big green button here, which is quite clear. It says create an ad. More importantly, before you even get to this stage, you should have an idea of what strategy or what's the outcome of my ad. Many people create an ad and they don't actually have an outcome. So when I talk about outcomes, I mean, I'm going to create an ad. Where do I want them to go? Do I want them to land on my website and capture an email address? So what's my call to action? Do I want to have a strategy to build my likes? Is it to boost my local presence? Is it to get video views? Is it to get post engagement? Is it to just drive traffic back to my page? So keeping that in mind, you really need to have a clear indication of what strategy or why you're doing ads to start with in order for them to be effective. So we've decided that in this instance, we're going to, let's do a post engagement because that'll be probably something that a lot of people could do with ease. So I'll create a campaign name and I'll just do post engagement testing.
Cool.
And the objective is, hello, there it is we have a number of different objectives here. So we've got traffic, which is obviously traffic. App installs is actually if you did have an application, which most people really don't. Video views is something that you should definitely be using because the cost on video views is next to nothing at the moment. Lead generation, from experience, this works well. However, it goes into Facebook's own funnel. And if I subscribe to your lead or enter into your lead, sometimes that information, i.e. the email address, doesn't get delivered back to the person. So I find that one's a little bit clunky. If you're doing a post engagement, and we'll talk about boosted posts, but this is where you would use your boosted post would be in the post engagement. Obviously page likes, that's what that is. If you're doing an event, you can promote your event. And maybe you just want people to come in and connect with you via Messenger. Maybe you're using a bot, something like that. Conversions is conversions on sales. If you have catalog products, you can use that, and also store visits. So for this instant, I'm going to use post engagement because a lot of people want to do boosted posts, which you shouldn't do, and I'll explain why shortly. Split testing, for people that don't know, that's where you can do 2 ads and test which ad is working the best. 2 different images, 2 different copies, 2 different headlines.
And is it always 2, or can you split test multiple, or do you do 2 at a time?
Normally it's 2 at a time to get an indication of what's working and then change it.
Yep.
I've only ever known of people doing A and B, not A, B, C, D, E, F. So A and B testing, split test 2.
Yep.
Budget optimization. This is where you can actually get more bang for the buck, but again, it depends on your strategy as far as how that will work out.
So is that Facebook optimizing your budget for you?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'll distribute it across, different places. It's very similar to Google AdWords. So depending on the price that you pay now will depend on whether that keyword or that demographic has already been taken or it's quite popular. Will depend on the price that you're paying and the distribution or the reach.
Gotcha.
So
do you normally split test, and do you normally use the budget optimization?
I don't, no, because normally I'm just running an ad for a specific reason. So my strategy is all based around video. So I can't split test. Well, I could split test 2 videos, but my strategy is around doing a video, pushing it out to market, optimizing it, and then moving on to the next video for more brand awareness.
Okay.
If you were doing something like a product, then you definitely split test this picture of a bottle of water and this picture of a bottle of water for sake, then test the product that way.
And you can split test headlines and copy and whole.
Absolutely.
Essentially every aspect of the ad.
And when you first start out ads, Troy, it's really important to make sure that you monitor your ads. So don't just set and forget it for a week or so. Make sure you go in every day, check how the ad's performing, because it's costing you money for one reason. But the other reason is, maybe you'll find people are watching your ad in the morning, not in the evening. So then you can schedule your ad to go out at different time slots in the day as well.
Yep.
And then, for example, with my son's business, he's got a terrible image that he used 3 years ago for his business, and he keeps adding or split testing new images and not getting the same result. So why keep trying to change something that's working? Every time he goes back to the original image, he gets leads. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the ad set. So we'll just call it post engagement again. 1, and the ad name, which is normally the same. So we'll just duplicate that in to there.
And what's the difference between ad set and ad name?
So to start with, if you had a campaign, say it was water, say the campaign was water, the ad set might be mineral water, and the ad might be orange mineral water. So you can create a different ad for a campaign.
Okay.
If that makes sense, yeah? But most people would probably just have the same, they would probably start a new campaign each time. It just depends what the product is or they're selling or what they're advertising. And then that should save to draft for us.
And is the new ad set, is that where you define your audience as well?
So the ad set is your budget, and your targeting, Yep,
cool.
So here, no, I've just got out of it. Let me go back into it. So here, you can see that we've completed the campaign. Now we're into the ad set over here, ad set and ad. So we go ad set.
Sorry, can we just jump back for a sec to the home page or that page, the ad manager?
Yeah.
So
back out to that one. Yep.
Yeah, just to get back into it, because I know if you click on that post engagement, which is what you intuitively go to do, it takes you to the wrong spot. You need to click on the edit. Is that right?
Click on the little edit button there, and that'll bring you back.
Gotcha. Yep.
Make sure that you fill in the ad set and the ad as well, because if you click publish, you're going to send an ad out that hasn't got any information in it. So, so this is our ad. We're going to go to ad set now, and we're going to have a look at the objectives of the ad and the budget. So you can really afford to advertise in Facebook. Most people think, I need a couple $100, but even if you set aside $1 a day, you could really make some traction into the marketplace. So people get scared about how much they need to spend. I always say start off with a small amount of money, test the market. If it works, well, then you can throw $50 a day or whatever your budget will allow.
Yep.
So here we go. We're going to do an ad spend. I'll leave it at $11, but I've done ads for $1 a day or $2 a day. Again, depending on your.
And there's no right or wrong. It's just more so what you're willing to invest in, or what's the is there any parameters around it?
Yeah, so test the market. So spend $1 a day and see if you're getting any traction or any audience or any reach. And then like with my son's ad and also my partner's ad, once they knew what was working, then they've set a budget of $50 a week or $150 a week because they know that ad has been working or will work, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And then again, it's what you can afford.
And I guess that's it. If you put $1 in on Monday, you get $2 out on Tuesday. You would do
Put
that.
$2 in.
Yeah, you would increase it. You'd put $1,000 in because you're going to get $2,000 out. So as long as you're making money.
Yeah, and that's what one of my other clients did too. Back early in the day, he had a $30 weight loss program. So he would spend $100 a week, and then he would spend $200, and at the end, he was spending $10,000 a month to get out $20,000 worth of revenue. So it's all comparative.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So we've set our budget, whatever it is. Facebook will always default to don't schedule an end date. So you need to be very, very mindful that you really want the ad to end. And again, run it for a week at the most, or 3 or 4 days, to see how the ad's going to perform, and select an end date. So if it starts on, this is yesterday in America, on the 4th, let's finish it on Friday, Thursday, Friday.
Cool.
And then if you want to add scheduling, this run ads on a schedule will pop up when you select a lifetime budget. So if I go back and say, I want the ad to be a lifetime budget of 50, we can now see that the run ads on a schedule will pop up, and we can actually schedule, as I said, I want my ads to run, maybe even if it's just Monday from 12 to, well, that's not going to work for me, Leanne, it's midnight. But anyway, it might work if you're in a different country.
Yeah.
I might want Friday there, whatever, or I want every day.
Yep.
So just, depends how you want to set it up.
Cool.
But in this case, let's go back to daily and finish there. This is the target market section that we really need to be clear about who we are wanting to engage. So let's think of a scenario. Don't know. Let's think about business owners.
Yeah, so small business. What about the example of me? Say someone looking to start a new business. So someone with an idea for a business.
Okay, so we're going to call startup.
Yep.
Business. Okay. So I didn't, let me put that in there. Anyway, create new. Everyone, so we need to be specific. So where would your audience be, Troy?
Let's focus on North Queensland for now.
Okay, so let's do Cairns. Townsville?
Yep. Well, let's maybe Cairns, and we'll do 100 miles.
I think we can only do 50 as your max.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's include Townsville as well. And then Cooktown.
We'll default to 25 miles radius, but we just zoom that out. And then it'll show you here on the map that we have those areas selected as our target market.
Cool.
Then we need to look at our demographics. So what age group?
18 to 65 is fine for that initially.
Okay.
Yep.
Men and women?
Yep. Men and
Okay.
women.
English?
Yep. English is good.
Okay, so now let's think about what are they interested in?
So I guess startup, I'm not sure if that's a search term, or business, startup company, yeah.
Okay. Kickstart? Is that, or is that that's the funding group, isn't it?
Kickstarter, yeah, maybe small business.
We'll go small business.
Yeah, and let's maybe try innovation.
Job title or interest?
Let's go interest.
Okay.
It's probably enough for now.
Okay, so we can see here, sorry, I've just got to move myself out of the road. So we can see here that the needle, the audience definition, is actually in the middle. Sometimes if you get too specific, it pops into the red, and Facebook will actually say, there's not that many people out there that are going to see your ad. So if you can keep the needle in between the green section, that's a good indication.
Yep.
Facebook will tell you that your reach is potentially up to 2,700 and the post engagement is 24 to 140. Now, if you want to check your target market again, you can just come through this far into the ad as well and go, well, I want to see if there's any people living in Cooktown between the age of 18 and 65 only that are interested in business. And you'll be able to have a quick look here and go, yeah, there is, or no, there's not. So that's another quick way to determine your target market.
Yep.
So we've selected all that. We then come down here to, it's always recommended to do automatic placements, only because you get a maximum reach. And how do I explain reach? I'm going to bite my tongue there. I just got to keep my, you can ask me about it later.
Okay.
So the optimization for delivery is the post engagement, or you have impressions, or you have daily unique reach. Now, I would coach people to use post engagement because that's what the purpose of the ad was. It was to actually get engagement on our post. Impressions is where Facebook sort of puts it out in view.
But you don't know if people actually saw it consciously or the background.
You don't. And then your daily reach is where Facebook will say, we'll maximize your reach. Now, I will speak now about reach. I have a little bit of an issue about the reach. So Facebook tells me over here, hope no one from Facebook's listening, it says here that this is the number of people we estimate that you'll reach within your audience. Okay, so it's saying to us 440 to 2,700. At the end of a Facebook campaign, you'll possibly see your reach numbers. You know, they might be 3,500, it might be, who knows, 10,000 people that Facebook says that you've actually potentially reached. The issue I have with using reach as an indicator of whether your ad is successful or not is, I ask the question, if I've targeted my market specifically, I have good content, people have clicked on my ad, they've gone to my post, made a comment, landing page or whatever, and I have potentially 2,700 people, why have only 3 or 4 taken action? I get sort of stuck with this whole reach scenario. I'm not really sure why, if so many people saw the ad, why didn't so many people take action? So yeah, that's just my own personal experience. I get a bit stuck.
It's a post engagement, and that's the people that predict out of that reach that they'll engage with the post. And what's engagement? What does that look like? Is that liking?
Like commenting, sharing?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So it begs the question, you know, like if only 2 or 3% of people are actually engaged and I've got a potential reach of 2,700, I sort of feel like sometimes the maths are out of whack.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, but that's where split testing comes in.
Gotcha. Refining. Yeah,
refining, checking, making sure you're doing it right.
Yep.
So that we've finished the post engagement, we come back up to the actual ad itself. So by clicking on the ad, we will see that it's connected to my Facebook page. Yes, that's where I want it to go. If you've got Instagram connected, it will also pop up your Instagram account. And if you don't, there is a section here which will say connect to Instagram, which is quite easy.
Does it need to be a business? It needs to be a business account for Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah. So the Instagram account needs to be connected with your Facebook page previously to get into this step. Okay. Otherwise, you might find it's having a bit of connection problem. So save it, go back out, reconnect Instagram to Facebook, check Facebook settings, come back in and see if it's popped up there.
Yep.
Because we've selected post engagement, it pops up here and it says, which posts do you want to use? So we just go on the little plus button and select my post. So I might say, let's just go that one. I'm going to use the video. So it pops up there with the video. It already brings that post that I've previously done into the ad. It asks me if I want a call to action button, which we want a call to action on every ad. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So learn more. I can pop in a website URL, send them to a landing page, my website, wherever I'm collecting information. I can send a message, so I can ask, it will actually prompt them. I'll just refresh that. It says here, send message. So. And
is that through Messenger then?
Yeah, that's through Messenger.
Yep.
I'll remove that. And then we'll have a look at what else we've got there. We've got shop now. So again, if I was selling a product or service, I'd put the URL in there. and then send WhatsApp Messenger, which is not that popular here yet. Maybe it will happen, but you're more likely to use send message through Messenger than any of the others. But I'll just say message because I don't have to type anything in. Update post. My pixel's already set up, so because I've previously set up a pixel, it will be here, and you can turn it on to make sure that that pixel's gathering the information. For my previous ads, I send them to my website, so sending a message and having a pixel is not going to work. But if I had to change this to learn more, go to my website, the pixel will then gather that information from this ad.
Gotcha.
And then if I've got an event, offline or online, I can set that up. And then we're ready to publish. We're ready to rock and roll.
Cool.
Yeah. And then you would just select publish, and then that ad would go into review, and then you'll get a message from Facebook saying, yes, it's been approved through your notifications, or no, first strike, you're out.
Not looking to go to jail. It's just like you got to fix something.
Yeah, well, yes, and they're very blasé when it comes to fixing. They'll often just send you a message saying, this ad has violated some of our consumer policies, but they won't tell you exactly what you need to fix. So this is where you have to put your creative hat on and go, okay, so what have I done? Have I selected somebody in my audience that's a little bit too selective? Like, you've got to think about discrimination. So an example is, I'll share one example with a client who was targeting people on New Start payments.
Yep.
There's some different things out there for those people. And the ad was okay for 2 or 3 months. And then all of a sudden, the same ad with the same picture, with the same content, was then flagged as being a violation. So we had to sit there and go, well, what's changed? What could be deemed as disrespectful? What could be deemed as not valuable? We removed the Centrelink New Start from the audience here, and then the ad was approved.
Yeah, okay.
So you've got to be a little bit of investigative as well as creative, because they won't say, please remove that targeting component from your ad. They won't say that. And
did that affect their post engagements or their engagements or conversions or whatever their campaign was?
Not initially for the next 2 months, but it was funny. It was funny what happened actually, because when they advertised for an 8-month period, so they found the ad, set the demographics, they had $150 spend a month, and they were getting 90 leads, and out of those 90 leads they were converting about 10%, but their sale price was anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. So 10% was great return on the investment. Now that happened consistently for 6 months. So the fluctuation in the call to action, the leads, went from 80 to 60 to 90 to 50, whatever. And then the first violation came through, changed, and it did affect it a little bit. The ad lead generation dropped by about 20%, so they were getting 60 to 70 leads per month. And then it changed again, and the cost of the ad went up. So initially they were paying, sorry, not the cost per ad, the cost per lead. So initially they were paying $1.50 for the lead or thereabouts. And then eventually they were getting 30 leads, but paying anywhere to $8 a lead.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then that means we've actually we've pulled that ad off now, and giving it some breathing space, and then going back in and looking at how they can change demographics to still get the same target market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Cool.
So it doesn't mean, just because you have a great ad doesn't mean it's going to be great forever. You've always got to monitor and watch and see. And the cost, I've done video ads, and that's possibly my favorite strategy, because you'll only pay around 1 cent to 4 cents per view. So you get a lot of engagement and reach for a very small amount of money and budget. Yep. But then just recently, the same video ad, or the same video that I was paying 4 cents for, suddenly I had a cost of $11.50 per click. It's like, how do you justify that?
Yeah,
so you've really got to be mindful of what's going on behind Facebook doors.
Yeah, wow, that's some good pointers there. Thank you for that. So that's fundamentally Facebook Ad Manager 101.
Yeah,
Yeah, getting started. And there's obviously lots of different elements that fall to the side of that, including, you know, boost posts, which I'm going to bring you back to in a sec. But then also then from there, the custom audiences, the lookalike audiences, and then creating new ad sets to target those ones. So this is the top of the rabbit hole, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can go so far into the ads, yeah, as you like. Yeah. Now in America, there's a thing. I haven't seen it here yet, but in America, they can actually, when you mention lookalike audience, you can actually select in your demographics or your interests. Say you were a personal development coach, for instance, and you wanted to get some clients. In America, they have the ability to actually do lookalike audiences of people like Tony Robbins. So
Yeah, wow.
you can say, I want to follow all Tony Robbins's audience, or I want my ad in front of those people. I haven't seen it pop up in our interests and demographics here yet. I'm not sure why, but yeah, so it's forever changing.
Yeah, wow. Cool. So boost post. So you did then posting engagement.
Engagement, yeah.
Yeah. So why post engagement as opposed to a boost? Or when would you use boost as opposed to post engagement?
Never. So the algorithm changed on the 11th of January this year.
Yep.
So Facebook's whole algorithm changed. Facebook basically said, if you're in business, there's 70 million business owners on Facebook. Only 2 million are paying for ads. So the rest of you guys really need to think about having a budget for ads. So Boost Post worked extremely well. Previous to this, you could put $10 on and get a high reach and a higher engagement. Facebook's algorithm change has stated unless you have a budget for advertising in the section that we've just been looking at, we won't actually boost your post. We'll take your money. We will tell you that we're sending it out into Facebook land, but really we don't give a damn. We're just going to take your money and happy days. However, if you have an ad campaign, that's where I mentioned about $1 a month, $1 a day. If you have an ad campaign, Facebook will validate and and do a legitimate boost post up to 10% of your campaign for the month, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can Google that and find lots of stories about that. But basically, don't boost posts if you don't have a campaign. Come in this way and do a post engagement, because then your Facebook's seeing you as actually spending money on ads. Yep. And not just boosting posts, because it's easier.
Yeah, okay. All right. And that's the thing, they make it so easy when they just have it boost this post. Yeah.
And they'll ask you, hey, why don't you boost this post? Yeah. You're like, yeah, why not? Here's $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're just throwing it to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Thanks for that tip. So pixels, I'd suggest that people watching this, there'd be dozens of videos available to help people set up pixels, so they'd just be able to do setting up pixels search and find a video to do that.
Look, it's not hard. Basically, go to your pixels here, and Facebook will say, what's the pixel called, or you know, whatever you're going to name it, and it'll give you some code. So one of these buttons here, I can't remember where it is, partner integrations. Once you've created it, it will actually just say, here's your code. I can't find it now. Here's your code, and oh, there it is, Pixel ID. If you use WordPress, it will actually, there's an actual plugin that all it asks for is this ID code, and it'll talk behind each other's backs. If not, your web guy or your web girl will actually be able to get the code and pop it into that page for you. And
am I right in suggesting that if you've got, say for example, you mentioned before on your landing page, and you'd have a pixel on there, but you'd also have a separate pixel on your thank you page, on your conversion page, because then you can track the two.
Yeah, exactly. When you're talking about funnels, then you want more information that you possibly can for each one. If they don't land and buy, or they land and maybe they didn't upsell or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This has been very helpful. I really appreciate you taking the time out to share this with us. Is there anything that we should know? So say, for example, the people watching this are likely to be, hey, this is their first time. They've created a landing page of sorts, and they're like, all right, well, now I've got to run some traffic to it, paid traffic to it. Is there anything that they should know given that scenario?
What they should,
Beyond what you've shared.
the main thing is tracking it. So, like I said, you know, put some money into the budget and then go in every day and just have a look. What's happening? Am I getting traffic to my website? Are people clicking on my ad? You even may need to pause it for a day or two and change the image or change the audience or change the demographic or change the age. I'm not sure what you're selling, but definitely make sure that you monitor it until it's a testing it's a testing platform. You keep changing it until you actually get that sweet spot where you know that if you spend $100, you're going to get X amount of leads. And then you're on a winner. There's no point changing it because it works. Like I said with my son's ad, he keeps changing the image. The image doesn't result in the same return on investment. But if he goes back to the original image for $50, he gets $3,500 worth of clients. So
yeah, awesome.
That's where you really need to monitor it, perfect it, and then it's set. Cool. Until Facebook changes.
And that's bound to happen as well. And that's why it's great to have people like you out there that you've got a vested interest in keeping up to date, and then just makes it easier for us to keep up to date as well. So cool. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. We'll chat about what we can do in terms of the next installments. So for people watching this, stay tuned. Thank you again, Leanne, for your time and sharing. And maybe a quick shout out about social media specialists for people that want more. Well, do you do this for people? Say, for example, someone's seen that and going, oh, bugger that, I'm really not interested in doing that. I want someone to do it for me. Is that something that you do? Still?
Not anymore, no. So my focus now is purely on teaching people how to fish. So I have developed an online training platform, which is in a foundation stage at the moment. That's why it's extremely well priced. And I'm putting all my training, all my knowledge and everything that's new, updated, happening, not happening in the group so that people can really learn how to use Facebook and every other platform for that matter themselves, because another 5 years, I believe that we will have somebody in our business dedicated to do this for us. And that's my mission.
Cool. So you're train the trainer or teaching someone to fish so that they can do it for themselves.
Yeah.
So foundation stage, you mentioned a price. How much is it?
$15 a month.
No way.
Yep.
$15 a month, and you've got training videos and so forth in there to teach people how to get started.
Yeah, I deliver a content calendar every month. They have some free stock photos. They have monthly training. They have how-to videos, Facebook training, Facebook Live, Facebook Messenger bots, Instagram at this stage.
That's, even a bunch of images is worth $15 a month. That's insane value. So anybody out there that wants just that little bit of extra helping hand, Leanne? So once again, just go through what do they get for $15?
So at the moment, it's a foundation membership too. So when you come in at whatever price that you get it for, because it does go up every month, you're guaranteed to stay at that price because you're a foundation member. So you get a content calendar every month, ideas of what to post, how to post. There's Facebook Live training, Facebook Messenger training, Facebook training. Instagram's going up this month. You get a monthly webinar on whatever's new and whatever's trending and whatever's happening. There's how-to videos. So if somebody says to me, how do I use Canva, Leanne, and I haven't already got the training in the vault, I'll then create it and upload it. You also get mini-series, like I'm doing a mini-series on SEOing your business, and we have frequent asked Fridays. So if you've got a specific question, you can ask me on a Friday, and there's stock images as well.
Wow. Crazy good value. That's like over delivering. That's fantastic. I love it. So $15. I'll get that link so I can share it with everybody. And then everybody that's seeing this that wants to jump on board, they will. So it maybe that's more than $15 when you're watching this. But like Leanne suggested, it's going to keep going up. So just jump in whenever you're comfortable. Thank you again, Leanne, for giving up your time. And I really appreciate it. It was invaluable for those that are just starting out. And I hope no doubt we'll catch up soon.
Thank you for having me, everyone, and hopefully I'll see your Facebook ads.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Dan.
Cheers.